Like, I don't think we can rely on them to
Yeah, like
know
a
all
slow,
of us.
maybe like a tagline that's like great for the dads.
Yeah, or like dads needed, strong men needed,
Dads
big.
need it. Oh my God, it's another episode, and I'm so excited to catch up with you, Natasha. How are you?
I'm great, Sab. How you doing?
Oh my God, Natasha replaced by AI.
Actually, AI, I've noticed in the past 2 weeks, it is definitely trying to be my friend, and I'm kind of letting it.
Oh, I know. It's like really we're in such a weird place with it because it is like it's like the friend in high school that everyone's like, don't talk to Marty. Marty was not the name, but and you're like, of course I wouldn't talk to Marty. Marty is in with a bad crew, but then you're like, I love weed. And you
Yeah.
smoke weed with Marty in secret, but you don't tell your student council friends. But I
Yeah,
just like
it
there's
was giving me advice the other day, and then when I after like 2 hours of thinking of its advice, I was like kind of like high. Like I was like, I think this is gonna be a good thing. I think we should do this. Like they're like my partner, and then I kind
well,
of pitched the thing to my husband and he was not as into it, and I'm kind of like, well, someone else is.
someone way smarter than you is. No, I can totally see why people fall in love with AI, but I also could see why people are going to fall in love with this episode because it is jam packed with questions from you guys. By the way, thank you so much for clicking on our link on the Instagram at Good Enough PCast and asking questions. Today we'll be answering your questions, and we've got some celebrity questions too. Some pretty good ones. You'll have to wait till the end of the episode to see what Wong asked us, what Ashley Tisdale asked us. You're going to have to wait to see. But before we get into the questions, we haven't seen each other in a long time. How are you? Where are you at?
I'm good. I mean, I really am using AI for parenting advice. I will tell it my situation, and then I'll say,
You got its pronouns right.
yeah. And then I'll say, give me advice on this in the spirit of Kim John Payne, my parenting guru, who, by the way, has an amazing podcast. I believe it's called Simplicity Parenting, and they're all 9 minutes. So just like
Really?
driving anywhere, you can listen to these. He's this very mellow Australian dude. But some of the stuff I've been trying, and it really has been working. One of the things
What are the stuff you like?
well, my daughter got in the car the other day. She was very upset about something. I forgot what it was. Something related to her birthday party. She was very upset. And I just remained still mountain. I didn't
Ooh.
join her. I didn't say it would be okay. I was just kind of like, I understand. That really sucks. I'm so sorry. I hate that. I feel really bad, but I just like stayed very chill. And it kind of
Cool.
passed, and she moved on to something else. And what I would usually do was get all upset, tell her I'm doing everything I can to just have her have a nice party. I'm
Yeah.
spending all this money. Did you know that when I was little, I didn't get a birthday party at all? Like I would all of a sudden go drama with her and join her. And
Yeah.
I really tried to do it. And she did just kind of slowly get it out of her system by me acknowledging her pain, not saying, why are you upset about this? You're ungrateful or anything like that. And then just me remaining really still and calm, almost like, it was kind of almost like a character I was playing.
No, it did. It does feel like a character. It felt to me like a character on some sort of drug, on some sort of like very calm drug.
Yeah, act like you're on Xanax.
Yes. Once the birthday party energy starts rolling, there's nothing stopping it. It picks up steam, and then they know how to manipulate it into more. And like at some point, someone agreed to a birthday sleepover for Wolfie. It's like his birthday was a month ago, and he's still like, so when's that birthday sleepover happening? And it's like, go to sleep. That's the sleepover.
It's like they got their checkbook out and they're just like,
Yeah.
wanting their cat. They want you to cash these checks. Where are you at, Sabrina?
I'm at sort of like two things. My parents are visiting, and it's like reminding me of a lot of my good qualities and some of the qualities that I want to leave in the past. And one of, I guess, where I'm at is within, okay, so let me say some of the good qualities. My mom is like so great with the kids. My parents, I sent them to Palm Springs this week, and the first night that they were gone, Wolfie started crying. And I'm like, why are you crying? He goes, I miss Gogo and Uppa. And it's
That's
like,
amazing.
that is so sweet. I would pay money for my grandkids to have that reaction. It's like they really have such a great relationship. One thing that is like very clear to me is that like I feel there's lots of rushing. Like right now they're like leaving Palm Springs and they're like they checked out at checkout and they're like we'll be there when we get there, right? It's like it's very like it reminded me of like, oh, I have kind of learned from Shauna, and that was like a whole learning curve that like the journey is the destination. And when we get in the car and we go places, it's like fun to like stop. It's fun to like meander. So after I dropped Wolfie off, there's like 20 minutes before I drop Rowan off at daycare. And usually I like sit and talk to the PTA moms. I like to be like, yeah, my kid, he can play with those rocks over there. He's good. He finds his own way. I get to chat, you know, and if he's crying about something, he'll figure it out. But this morning I was like, you know what? I'm going to make him the main event here. Because that also was in the beginning something that I was like, oh, I get this 20 minutes with Rowan. And like, fuck these other people, you know? I'm going to hang out with Rowan. And he was so happy. And I was like kicking a pickleball back and forth at this coffee shop. And it reminded me that like, in my effort, I think, to balance all of like the bells and whistles of like Shauna's sometimes like what I see as like doting parenting style, I miss out on connecting and like savoring these little moments.
I do think that turning down the tap is a big thing that I'm trying to work on, that my parenting guru talks about, you know, just like the tap of stimulation. And I have also noticed like something living with a partner with ADHD. I'm neurotypical. He is neurodivergent. He sort of thrives on context switching, which is like, now we're on vacation, but then we're going to go swim with turtles, and then we're going to go do a show, and then we got to watch the kid, and then we're going to go out to, it's like constantly back and forth and back and forth. And he kind of gets energy from living like that. Whereas I am realizing as I get older, I'm starting to shut down from that energy. I want to do less. I want to focus on one thing, not 10 things. And I'm really trying to figure out how to do that, even in the moment of a day, you know?
Yeah, well, I feel like life takes both modes. Sometimes, like, even though your preference is not to do a bunch of things, Natasha, I know from your schedule, sometimes you are doing a bunch of things and that's just how it goes. But you're realizing like what works for you is working in more calm and like slowing your heartbeat down. And that'll be beneficial for, you know, your kid to see both ways of being. I mean, like, even as I'm talking about this thing with like, it's so funny. Like, do you ever find like in therapy when you're tapping into something that you know you need improvement on, you start to, like, all of your ancestors start, like, tug of war pulling of, like, no, that's a good thing, though. That's pretty good, though. No. Like, even as I was sharing that, I'm like, you know, here I am, someone who prides themselves on raising a kid who's self-sufficient, realizing the power of, or that there's a loss in not tapping in and giving your kid the attention that they're craving. It's not going to, you know, that doesn't, one doesn't cancel the other out. That there's both you need a kid or not you need a kid. Ideally, your kid is able to entertain themselves while you have a conversation. And also, you're losing out if you don't tap into something that they find interesting and like pass on the conversation to engage with your kid in this way that, like, you know, they're there and then they're gone in terms of these ages and the things that they're noticing. And yeah,
sounds like part of your real parenting philosophy is to not spoil your kid.
Yeah, but like
when you talk about ancestors, is that kind of what you're saying? Like,
for sure. Like, my mom over the weekend was like, she kept on bringing up like, Wolfie has too much Lego. It's too much Lego, and Lego is bad. Lego is expensive. And I'm like, of all of the things that he does, it's actually kind of the most positive, and he gets a lot of confidence from like building these intricate things. It builds patience. And then she's like, but then he builds them and they just sit there. And I'm like, no, he does break them down and rebuild them. But yeah, no, that's exactly right. There is like a voice in my head, even as I am the updated iPhone in terms of thinking that I'm not like infected with this thought of like they're spoiled, we're spoiling them, they should be able to run on less. It's
That's so
still in
interesting
me.
because your mother is like me in the sense of I'm always trying to find out what's wrong with what they're doing. And like my daughter's never sat down. They're the exact same age. She's never sat down and finished any Lego ever. It's not her
Yeah,
thing. So I think the fact that he's doing that is really cool. And it's so easy to try to think of the thing that is wrong with the good thing they're doing. I'd love to
that's
stop doing that.
that's a good observation, and I think I obviously do it. I obviously do it as well, but that would be a really good goal, is to like totally. And I think this is like it's like you get older too and like things go wrong. I think this is also like a trope of like being a mother, is like troubleshooting. Is like you start to troubleshoot and you're like, I got screwed by doing that last time, so I got my guard up. And then if you go on that way untherapized, you'll be, in your 70s and like talking about how expensive Lego is over and over. And it's like, but can you see how nice it is that he can build it?
All right. Well,
Anyways, Natasha, did you watch Bad Bunny?
I did. I'm sorry. That guy's hot.
Do not apologize. I'm like 95% lesbian, and the 5% straight in me was alive.
I was not
Alive.
into him. I didn't think I would like it. And then I was begrudgingly at a Super Bowl party. I still couldn't tell you who was playing. I know it took place in the Bay, but that's all I know. And
No, the
he's
game
so
was
hot.
boring.
The
He
game was
is
boring.
absolutely so hot. And, he's been doing this residency in Puerto Rico, and he was just running his set. And it's like that. It's like similar to like when a stand up is just like in the mode of like doing it over and over. He was so effortless. I would absolutely suck his D. I
You
would
would
suck his D.
not.
I would absolutely. I would. I don't know how it would feel for me in my soul, but I would definitely do it just to hang. If he said, hang, be a very straight, it actually would take some of the shine off of what I think of him if he was like, you can hang with me, but first suck my dick.
He does have some of that big dick energy. Like you kind of know.
And you can see the shape of it jumping around. I wonder if actually lesbians are looking at the shape more than straight women because we're just doing simple anthropological studying. Like there's
I
no
did
way.
not notice. I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
I did. See, I'm looking for dick shapes because I'm like, they still look like what I think they look like.
I just loved his sort of, the energy was very relaxed. And I
And
just
my
thought,
friend Vic Villa was in the thing. He's a taco guy in Highland Park, and it was just so cool.
it really was. I loved it.
Speaking of what's so cool and what we love questions from you guys, and we've got one right here in our pocket. Let me take it out.
Hey Natasha, hi Sabrina. I wanted to ask you guys your opinion on what, if anything, can be done about dads feeling like they don't have to engage with or contribute to class participation or school related volunteering. I guess I'm referring mainly to straight married couples here, but I just know that we all work, we're busy. None of us, for the most part, want to be spending hours and hours on creating magic for our kids' classrooms. But when it comes to signing up for like a potluck or volunteering for an event or to come in to the class to read or whatever, it's just always the mums. And everything takes time and energy and thought. And I think we all know that like the lion's share of invisible labor when it comes to play dates and maintaining text threads and relationships and mom chats, it falls on the mums. And I'm divorced, so granted, like this unequal division is like particularly irksome to me right now, but I'm just pissed at the fact that all these men who are seemingly very liberal, feminist guys are still sort of acting so regressive when it comes to being involved at school. So the question is, what has your experience been with your kids' classes? And Sabrina, obviously you and your partner have a different story, but do traditional gender roles also play out in your relationship when it comes to this stuff? Thank you.
Yes, Sabrina, you volunteering?
Well, you know what? This is like a perfectly timed question because last weekend, Shauna had volunteered to do physical labor at Rowan School. It was like they're at Rowan's daycare, and I was like, as I was so then she was like, my back hurts, and I'm like, of course I'll go do it. But part of me, I was making a joke of like, Natasha, you're not online, but like there's like a trend of people putting on clown makeup and being like, come with me as I go to have a coffee with my ex-boyfriend who's broken up with me 5 times, and I was sort of like, come with me as I go do physical labor at my son's school that I pay $2,500 a month for, that's closed usually 1 to 2 weeks of the month. And I was like, this is a joke. What do I pay for? And then I arrive at his preschool, and there's a big mound of mulch. And not only do I arrive there and notice, holy shit, there's so much work to be done. That is not the usual work that I do. But I'm also like, it's mostly dads here. Because we're like shoveling mulch into a wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow or wheelbarrow?
Barrel. Wait, wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow.
It's a barrow.
It's a barrow?
Wheelbarrow. Wait, that's really crazy.
That is crazy. This is like blue dress, white dress.
It can't be a wheelbarrow. It is a barrel on a wheel, though.
Wait, let me just look it up.
It can't be wheelbarrow with a W. It's got to be the L's.
Oh my God. You'll never believe it. It's a barrow, baby.
With L's.
No. Barrow.
Like rhymes with sparrow?
Yes.
Wow. Barrow.
You know who would never make this mistake?
Who?
The listener that just called in. Did you notice she knows how to talk better than anybody you know?
Well, she's Australian.
Here's what I love what she said. Lion's share of invisible labor. I love she used the word irksome. And then when she said regressive, I said, write a speech for me, honey. You're hired. but so interesting. It was dudes there. Also interesting. It was, again, this sort of moment where I'm like, oh, my personality was bad. My personality was like, I'm not doing physical labor, okay? I'm a writer. I'm a breadwinner. I did my part. And it's like, actually, no, you're missing out, because to shovel the mulch and actually we built this like, when I say we built, all the men did, and I said, I brought them seltzers, but this forest of logs. And it was so cool to see it come together. And over the course of the morning and into the afternoon, it was like, oh, this is like, feels profound to me to actually like invest physically in the space that my little kid runs around in.
Yeah, no, I agree with the caller. I do think there is this crazy divide where it is almost always moms. I mean, I don't even think the dads are on my WhatsApp chat with the parents. And also, if they are, they don't look at it. And we volunteer to read at my kids' school, and the only time it's dads is when you can tell the moms are making the dads do it for them because they couldn't come for whatever reason. So my only advice is what I've tried to start doing is, because look, there's going to be people who don't have jobs, mothers probably, they have overactive empathy, they just want to be involved. Someone will pick up the brunt of the stuff, and I think I'm just trying to do as much as I can. Like when I have a Tuesday free, I go to sign up because I actually want to see her reading in her class. But I'm not trying to be like the person who brings fresh flowers to the mom or to the teacher every week or does the laundry. I just can't. I used to sign up for that stuff, and then I'd always like have to cancel because something came up because of the nature of our work. And I would just always feel terrible. So it's like you just have to be reasonable with yourself and not hard on yourself and do what you can do. And also, my mom I don't think parents were asked to do anything. There was like 3 parents who were like the overachievers in the 80s, and they would be like the PTA
And that was
people.
that was across the whole country. Sheila, Judy, and Leslie,
Debbie.
and they all killed themselves together.
But remember, it wasn't like, and it was always someone who didn't have a job, and there would be like 1 or 2 of them. Like, it was never like every parent is required to help out. Like, you know, when you're working full time, it's just not always an option.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. Where what you're describing is there should be an understanding that like we're all busy and not feel this pressure to be like the heroes of the school. But also, to her point, it is women that are showing up most of the time. I think that when I showed up and it was all these dads, it speaks to maybe like a movement and like some change. And to be fair, I was also told to go there. I didn't sign up. I see the same emails. I didn't even know that you could sign up. Shauna signed up and said, "You're going." And I went, and now I'll sign up again. You know, but it took being forced. It took being forced to realize like, oh, this is actually something that I should be participating in.
Which actually gives me a great idea. What we can do and what this caller can do is go to the person, whoever's like the main, you know, there's always like a main woman in charge of everything, one of the moms, and say, let's do some things and say dad events, you know, like physical labor stuff. And I think, you know, dads sign up. We need dads. Like, I don't think we can expect them. My husband does not know what time my daughter gets out of school each day because it's different on some days. He doesn't know. Like, I don't think we can rely on them.
Yeah, like maybe like a tagline that's like great for the dads.
Yeah, or like dads needed, strong men needed, big
needed.
Yeah, you gotta make them feel like, yeah, like they need like their ego stroked.
Honestly, tagline for society: dads needed.
I think you'd get like 5.
Yeah, no, truly, no. I think you're right. I think being like, we need the big, strong guys to show up for this one. Okay, cool.
But yeah, it is a sad fact. But I think just not being hard on yourself and treating yourself, if you're a mom, like you're a dad. Do what you can do.
Yeah,
you know, and focus
dads
on
be more
your
mom, moms be more dad.
Yeah, that'd be
baby.
nice.
All right, what's this next question?
Hi, I have a question that's kind of geared towards Sabrina, based on your parenting situation. I have a son that's 4, and my husband and I have been trying to have a second for a little while. I was pregnant last year and had a miscarriage, and we have not successfully had a pregnancy since. But just mathematically at this point, if we were to have a second, we'd be looking at probably a 5 to 6 year age gap. And it sounds like your kids are probably in that kind of general range too. So I'm just curious, what are the things that you really like and appreciate about having a little bit bigger of an age gap? Because I think that people are very quick to talk about the negatives or kind of act like you're, you know, raising 2 only children or something. So I'm just curious, what things do you really love about it? And what things do you really appreciate about having that age gap? Thanks so much. Love the podcast. Bye.
Hell yeah. Thank you for your question. And I'm sorry to hear about your miscarriage. And it's, I think when you said people feel like you're raising 2 single kids, I feel like we're like always so infected by this like perception of what's normal. And I think, Natasha, like you've talked about like raising 1 and the choice to be like, that's what I'm doing. There's like people say lots of things about raising 1 child, and people say lots of things about, I mean, I certainly have opinions about people that have more than 2, kind of. I'm like, that's not so. Like everyone's just sort of like, everyone knows what they know and have very strong opinions. And I think if you have it in you to continue to try, and you know, my whole thing with trying was like, I'm going to try to like get that baby. I just was like, I am going to be relentless, which was hard. I've talked on the podcast about it, but hard for my partner, Shauna, who is 6 years older than me. She didn't see that was not comforting for her, that we would never stop trying. But all this to say, do it if you've got the energy. And the prize if you open up the prize door and the baby is there, which if you're relentless, the baby will be there. The joys of raising a kid 6 years apart are that you have a child that is actually able to help and is conscious of like the miracle of life. Like we brought our 8-year-old son Wolfie along for the fertility journey. I mean, there was no way of hiding it. We were doing IVF, we were flying here and there. So he understood that we were trying really hard to get to build this family. And so when the baby came, I think he really does on a really grounded level understand what a miracle that is. And so rather than have this sort of competitive relationship with a sibling, he really does see this baby as like it's also his baby. Like we're all raising this baby, and Wolfie is connected to Rowan's needs on a deeper level than us in some ways. Like he knows when to change a shitty poopy diaper. I'm kidding. No, if Rowan is panicking about something, I'm like putting his car seat on and I'm sort of like being relentless about like you're getting in the fucking car seat that moment. Wolfie will like pick up a shiny thing, like a piece of trash next to him and be like, Rowan, look, it's a little shiny. Like he'll distract him. And at first I'm like, in the frenzy of everything, my instinct is like, Wolfie, I don't need you to. And luckily now I know not to stop him because he actually does soothe Rowan in those moments. And that's pretty magic. And, it's kind of like for all of the things that are tough about getting back in the child seat and back in the diapers and all of that, it's kind of nice to be like, we had such a distance from having a little baby and now we get to really relish having this little baby. Shauna's body was able to like heal up before starting up this huge project again. And also our family was able to like catch our breath before being winded with the whole like expedition of getting a baby through the like most needy years of their life. So
I also want to say too, like society's emphasis on age, it's like, let's hope you have two healthy, beautiful children. Like, I just think the whole like obsession about age isn't always, you'll make it work no matter what. Like I was talking to this guy today and he was like, I was saying, oh yeah, I've got to drive my kid to school at 7:30. He goes, oh yeah, when I was 18, I had to do that with my brother. So like they had like a 10-year age gap, and then the 18-year-old was able to like make the parents never have to drive their kid to school.
Yeah.
I mean, can't you just like make your life work however it can work? Like I remember when we were adopting a dog, we already had a female dog and we went there and the people were like adamant. They were like, 2 female dogs can't be adopted together.
Wow.
And they were like, you can only look at male dogs. And I was like, why? And they're like, that's just what we found, that females don't get along. It was just this philosophy they
that
have.
Girls are cunty. They're very cool to each other.
But I just think like, if it's in your vision for your life and your family, you'll do it and it will work out and you'll make it work for your situation. I would love an 18-year-old to drive my kid to school every morning.
Honestly, adopt a 17-year-old. You can have that next year.
If only I would have had a teen pregnancy and then had my daughter. Fuck.
We're all kicking ourselves that we didn't have teen pregnancies. No, but there's like no good way off of that. It's like when we were teenagers, that was actually the only time in our life that we could be sort of most likely to be in control of like, I'll have one now and I'll have another there and then I'll have another. The more you start to talk to people, and it was just yesterday I was in a little mini room and chatting with a woman after. And of course she's on her fertility journey. And it's like the only, like the good part of it is like being in that place where you're trying and trying, it connects you in a way that no one else can understand when you start talking about it with other women who are on that path, and you feel connected and less lonely about it. And I hope that you feel, to the listener, I hope that you feel connected to like all of us here on this podcast and the guests that we've had and the friends in your life. Like, just know that you're in good company and keep on trying if that's what's in your heart, and then you'll be holding that baby with whatever age gap you've got, and you'll be thrilled.
Love it.
Love it or listed. I love it. Let's move on to, I'm feeling snackish for a celebrity question.
Let's do it.
Let's.
Can't believe we know celebrities.
We know celebrities. Look, and these are just two that we know. We haven't talked about the others that we know. We know Bad Bunny's dick. We're gonna have Bad Bunny's dick on next week.
My question is, how do you deal with a picky eater?
Okay, now my question to you, the audience, is, who do you think that was? That was none other than Ashley Tisdale. Is your daughter picky, Natasha, with eating?
Well, she's kind of picky in reverse. Like if it's not like the perfect temperature steak or uni at the exact right season, she's
the exact right season.
Well, she kind of like she'll like know if avocado's off even by a day. Like she's just like very. Honestly, I think she might be like a chef or something. Like she's clearly talented. Like she has like a very developed palate. She can taste if there's too much fennel or if there's like, she's just like, but she is picky because she doesn't like lunch, because lunch is this disgusting melted thing that I've packed for her.
It's certainly not fresh. There's certainly no
not
uni.
fresh. It's not the ideal temperature. Like who wants a warm turkey sandwich? Like,
no, it's true.
It's nasty. And everyone says to put one of those little ice packs in, but
who cares?
I got her a bento box. There's no space for the ice pack. So then I put the ice packs in her lunch box with it. And every day she doesn't eat her lunch. So in a way she is picky. Now how I've dealt with that is I am basically force feeding her with 4 different proteins in the morning. And I'm sure that this is probably wrong.
What are you feeding her?
Well, the doctor, I just went to her pediatrician, 8-year appointment, and they were like, she should be drinking Fairlight milk, which is like some kind of special milk for growing kids, like at breakfast and at dinner. And I said, well, what about sugared drinks for dinner? Because that's what we always do. My husband and her love drinking sparkling water with juice in it. Mm-hmm. And the doctor's response was, bad, 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 bad.
Wow.
She's
AI doctor.
She's like, water with dinner, give her the milk, and tons of protein, as much as you can. So this morning I gave her this rice pudding that Moshe had made the night before that she said had too much fennel in it. And
wait, there's fennel in rice pudding?
His way it was. He was
wow.
doing an improvisation thing. Maybe it was anise seed or something. I don't know.
Anise.
Anise, yeah, star anise.
How dare they name that star so close to an anus?
Because it is delicious.
Yeah, but everyone's nervous to say it. You changed it to fennel, I'm sure, because you were like, wheelbarrow, and anise?
And then I try to always buy different turkey bacon, sausages. I think she had 3 chicken apple sausages, mini sausages this morning.
Okay, you're loading her up in the morning.
I'm trying to load her up in the morning with things I know she'll eat. And then I'll try to give her a smoothie. Sometimes I'll soak the chia seeds the night before because I know those have some kind of protein. This is, by the way, from many interactions with teachers saying she's not eating, she needs to keep her energy up, you need to be helpful with this. And I had one teacher, her kindergarten teacher was like, if you want, I can bring her some food from home. And I was like, I don't need you to bring her food from home. I'm just like,
did you slap her?
She was being sweet.
If you want, I can give her my food. I'm sure I could figure out the Rubik's Cube of what would be good for her to eat that's packed in the morning and wilted by the afternoon.
I know, it's so hard. So I'm really just trying to be conscious of making, because what I was doing a month ago was just kind of brushing off breakfast because she wasn't that hungry, and then I'll pack her the whole lunch. But because she's not really eating the lunch, I'm like, at least I know she's had an egg and some sausage and some fruit and some fucking seeds, and then she's going off to school.
Well, that's a great strategy. And you know what? A packed lunch is, my mom actually used to make a pasta salad. I feel like that was the thing that was, but then I got to the point where I was tired of the pasta salad and I would trade it with other people's regular sandwiches.
And it was a cold pasta salad, in a thermos to stay cold?
Cold,
with mayonnaise?
yeah, cold in an old yogurt container.
Ooh, my daughter would not eat that.
I just don't like it hit me when you said that the teacher said like I could bring her something.
I
It was like,
honestly think she was just trying to be nice. She was
sure,
like maybe
yeah, but
thinking we didn't have money. I don't know.
it reminded me when a couple years ago we were. School starts so fucking early. And when you're in the public school system and you are a minute late and you have a teacher that marks this way, 1 minute late, you will get robocalls, 4 robocalls, to each parent. Yes. And the robocall goes like, your child was either absent or tardy. Studies have shown that tardiness relates to future drug addiction, basically. It's not like future drug, but they're like, leads to bad, poor behavior. And so we got an email after like, I don't know, I guess it was like 7, because she was like, your child has been absent, or not absent, your child has been tardy 7 times this year. Would you like me to set up an appointment with the school psychologist?
What?
I'm like, no, you set an appointment with the school fucking jail, because I'm going to come over there and I'm going to scream.
Dude, that is kind of
The
humiliating
school
as a parent. That's rude.
Yes. And of course, immediately I'm like, homophobia, racism and homophobia. Take your pick. Which one is it? Because it's not me.
I mean, but I do think there is something to modeling being on time.
Of course. But also, you know what? There's something, you know what Shauna and I have been trying to say these days to each other and just like as a mantra? Light touch. Light touch, baby. Approach it with a light touch. We're trying. We are trying. And honestly, if we were 50 days into the school year and it was 7 tardies, that's pretty good for trying. It's probably better this year because we don't have a teacher that marks us if 1 minute late is so rough, you know?
Well, what's so funny about it, it's like the child is not getting themselves to school. It's all on it's the parent who needs to go to the therapist.
Yes, that's why she was like, do you want the crazy doctor to come over and check your head? And I'm like, no, I got a more expensive one. And obviously things aren't solved for you. Okay, let's get our next celebrity question. And I know who it is. It's absolutely award-winning comic and actress as well as director.
Award-winning mother.
Award-winning mother, Ali fucking Wong.
So I would like to know, what do you feed your kids for breakfast?
I mean,
Whoa.
Is she psychic? Is she a fucking psychic? Because Natasha answered already.
I want to know what Allie feeds her kids for breakfast. I remember being at Allie's house when our kids were really little, and my daughter got into, because Allie's like a great cook, and she cooks a lot of Chinese food, and my daughter got into Allie's bag of MSG, and she...
MSG is fine.
And she just had white powder all over her face and was just like so into it. I actually feel like that maybe like helped fashion her palate towards... Yeah,
she's like, my fingers have never tasted better. No, her, and then our mutual friend, Benny Blanco, also famous, also an incredible cook. He's made the best steak I've ever had in my life. And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, I put some MSG on it.
Is that how he got Selena Gomez?
He put some MSG on he. I think, honestly, first of all, it is a crime that MSG got a bad reputation for so long. And secondly, to answer Allie's question, when I'm making breakfast, this morning I made French toast for the boys.
Oh, let's just say, too, you're a great cook.
Thank you.
Chelsea, Allie, those are 3 friends I have that are excellent cooks. Moshe, my husband, is a great cook.
You were saying that your daughter might be a chef. Does she cook with Moshe?
No, not at that level yet, but she likes to season things. Like, if I give her, like, some vegetables, she likes to, like, do her little thing on it, and
That's the highest level.
Well,
you know, that's the work of the chef. The line cooks are doing the cut. You're the line cook, and she's the chef.
Exactly.
So I like to do a low impact, sort of like get a piece of toast, put a piece of butter on it. French toast is pretty easy. Shauna is doing kind of similarly to you. She's like, I know lunch is a gamble, whether it's going to get consumed or not, but I'm loading them with, she will blend spinach with eggs and make green eggs. That's like, I think blending vegetables into things is like...
How do you make green eggs? Do you make a scramble?
Yeah, well, you put the eggs in a blender with like salt and pepper, and then you toss a
What?
handful of spinach into the blender. You don't know about this?
No.
You don't know about this? I bet your kid would be so into this.
Wait, and then I thought you were supposed to, when you scramble eggs, you're just supposed to like run a fork through it a couple times. It doesn't get ruined if you put it in the blender?
Yeah, you blend the eggs with the spinach, and then you pour it on the pan, and then those are the scrambled eggs. But then you're forcing your kid to have spinach. But it
Do you
doesn't
put
taste.
cheese in it or anything
Yeah,
to
you
make
put
it
some
taste
put some
better?
cheese on top. Try that. I
That
mean, it sounds
is
like you're doing well with all
awesome.
of that protein. And then,
Oh, but another thing about my kid, she doesn't like leftovers and doesn't like the same thing 2 days in a row.
yeah, I mean, she's a princess. It's like if you can choose these things, then of course you're like, yeah, these are my rules too.
But switching it up a little bit, that sounds really smart. The green eggs.
Yeah, try it because spinach actually blended in anything. And I was watching some videos yesterday of like different ways of like hacking the system and getting like traditionally non-liked by kids foods into their system. And like one person was saying blending beans into the mac and cheese sauce and then putting that in the mac and cheese is a good way of putting protein in there. But I think spinach, like it doesn't taste like anything. That you put it in your smoothie. I have like a smoothie in the morning with like a frozen banana, spinach, and oat milk, and I'm not tasting the spinach.
Wow, I gotta start using that more. I only make spinach when it's like with garlic, frying it, in a
Yeah, but
pan.
does she eat it?
She likes that, but that's
Oh,
because
okay.
it's like,
Delicious.
but that's not a breakfast food, And
Yes.
breakfast and lunch are really the hard ones. Dinner, I feel like, is easy because you can kind of all work together to get something that everybody will like.
Well, speaking of dinner, our meme of the week is someone who's giving advice on the whole kids dinner snack situation. Let's get her in here.
Kids come home and they are ravenously hungry, and then you find that they snack all afternoon, gets to dinner time, and they don't want to have any food, then try this. I'm a dietitian, I'm a nutritionist, I'm also a mum of two, and one of the things I do is I give my kids dinner as soon as they get home from school, because that's when they're most hungry, and therefore that's when they're most likely to eat their most nutritious meal of the day. So I make sure it's a balanced plate, and what do you know? When they're hungry, they eat it all up. Much less fussy eating, much less resistance, much less complaining about what I've cooked when they are hungry. I think this is a much healthier way to think about it than asking the question, how do I make healthier snacks? Just serve them the healthiest meal when they're most hungry.
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, that is
That's good.
kind of brilliant.
It is, right?
And then you can have your own dinner with your husband at 8:30 once your kid, and then you get him to bed by 7.
Yes. Yes. Yes, they're in a food coma at the right time for sleep. This episode we should call two celebrities, two wise Australians, because the Australians have come through for us today. I think this is brilliant. I know I usually choose memes of the week that are ripe for making fun of people, but we just absolutely had to play this hot tip because
I mean, you can't do it every day, but like the times where, to me, I know that I'm going to steal this now for like when my husband's working and it's just me and my daughter and like, because he's very like 1950s, wants his dinner at like 6:30 when it's supposed to be, and he hates when people snack before dinner, but also she's hungry. So then
he's
it's
also
like,
very violent with you.
I made these like great tacos the other night, and then I remember I had let her eat an apple croissant from Starbucks like at
Done.
4.
Done.
She didn't eat any of the thing.
No.
And it's like all I had to do was reverse that. I think I'm going to definitely steal this when I'm solo parenting and then just feed her another snack at freaking 6 or 7 or whatever.
Yes, if they're hungry to come to the table later, then great, the more the merrier. But like having something on the ready to just throw down and be like, this is your meal. I've done it a couple times and I'm like, yeah, this is what we should do. So if you've got it in your system, please do it. Take a picture, send it to our Instagram, win a
Oh,
prize.
I have another hack. Sorry.
Please, give a hack.
Another hack I've noticed, because we've been getting these boxes of vegetables, and my daughter will eat them when they're seasoned and roasted, but giving her, this is a little obscene, but just giving her courses like starting with the roasted carrots. Like she's hungry. So I'm kind of like roasting the vegetables, but like if I give her a plate of roasted carrots and she's hungry, she'll eat them. And then she's like, what's next? Sometimes I'll even let her watch TV. Like if I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, now we're going to have the broccoli and then we'll have the pasta. Because if I gave it to her all on the same plate, she would have never eaten the carrots or the spinach. Like just giving her a little bowl of like garlic and lemon with like cooked spinach, she'll just eat it like it's like a snack.
I feel like you said Moshe's in the 50s. I feel like your daughter's in the Victorian era.
I just want her to eat the vegetables and I don't want them to go to waste.
Look, it's perfect. It's great. So are you. And this has been another incredible episode, Natasha. I love you dearly.
Love you too, girl.
Sheena Chica Gush!